Oh, I already did fractions on the number line. Okay. Find 1 on the number line. Okay. So what this picture is telling us, and I'll give you a second to take it in. What this picture is telling us is, first off, that we start at 0, which is pretty normal. And it's telling us that each step is worth 1/2, right? So the second step would be worth 2 halves, and then 3 halves, and then 4 halves, and then 5 halves, etc. on forever. Essentially, we just took the number line and divided it by 2, right? Normally, we would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the number line, but instead, we're going 1 over 2, 2 over 2, 3 over 2, 4 over 2, 5 over 2. So it's the same kind of thing. It's just that each tick mark is worth 1/2. So the point 1 is going to be at 2 halves, which is A. All right, each of these is worth 8, or eighth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 eighths. We're moving to 1. Well, if this is 9 over 8, if this is 9 over 8, and I want 8 over 8 to make 1, right? It's not just like a hashtag math fact that anything divided by itself is 1. It makes perfect sense. If I cut a pizza into 8 pieces and I have 8 pieces, then I have 1 pizza. Like it's a thing that makes perfect sense when you really sit down and think about it. You don't have to just memorize it. Just think of pizza, like I always do. Which one is 1? Well, each one is worth 1/6. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 6. I think if I counted that correctly, B is the correct answer. Same deal. We're in fourths this time. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 4. Same deal. I don't even care that this says 7 over 4. The numerator of that number does not matter to me one teeny tiny little bit. All I care about is that each of these things is worth 1/4, which is what the denominator tells us. Each one of these jumps, each one of these steps has a denomination of 1/4. So 1/4, 2, 3, 4/4 is 1. Same deal. 1, 2, 3, 4/4 is C. One of the reasons I think that people have such a hard time with fractions is that they were never taught these different ways of looking at them. Like, I'm sure someone told me at some point that if I cut a pizza into 6 pieces, each one's worth 1/6. But that was never actually related to the calculations that I would have to do later. Like when I had to add 1/6 and 3/4, and I have to come up with some kind of common denominator, pizza didn't help me then. But it will help you, I promise. I will use pizza to help you understand why it is that you have to have a common denominator when you add and subtract fractions. But for now, it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jumps, 6 steps in between 0 and 1. So each one is worth 1/6. So we go from 6 over 6 plus 1 other sixth. Well, 6 over 6 plus 1 over 6 is 7 over 6. A lot of the time, when it comes to adding fractions, people have a really hard time. But if the fractions have the same denomination, if they have the same denominator, it's pretty easy. If I have 3/4 here and I have 2/4 here, then I have 5/4 total. It's really that simple, so long as all the denominators are the same. It's when you start getting different denominators that things get really a little bit more hairy. 9 over 4, let's see. 9 over 4, well, I know that 8 over 4 is 2, right? 8 divided by 4 is 2. So it's going to be 8 and then 1 more fourth. So let's see. I'm sorry, it's going to be 2 and then 1 more fourth. So that's C. Move the dot to 5/4 on the number line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, it's just counting again. What fraction is located at point A? Well, each one is cut into thirds, right? 0, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4, 5, 6, 7/3. A is 7/3. Phenomenal. Oh, we're so close. Look at this. We got whole numbers as fractions. Quiz 4, unit test. We will be done with understanding fractions. We're only an hour in. We might even get 2 whole units done today. Oh man, we're doing great. Let's move on. Relating fractions to 1. Wait, was that what I'm supposed to do? Yes. No, quiz 3 first. Then relate fractions to 1. Yeah, quiz 3 first. But I'm just going to blitz through this, okay? 6 out of 6 is 1. 5/2 is 1/2 more than 2, right? Because that's 4/2, 5/2. If I want to move the dot to 1/2, I cut it into 2 pieces and move up 1 space. What fraction is located at point A? Well, there are 3 pieces per whole, and only one of them is shaded, so that is 1/3. And then finally, these are eighths, so A is at 1/8.